Now at 6:30.
Get away from the beaches, get inland, and get upward.
Tsunami warnings ring out across the west coast after a historic earthquake hits the eastern coast of Russia.
Plus,
this letter demands that the Justice Department produce documents.
Senate Democrats put pressure on the DOJ to release the Epstein files, which could set the stage for a legal battle between them and President Trump.
And Trump says he will not extend the deadline for tariffs beyond August 1st, and trade partners are scrambling to get deals done. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Steve Nedlick.
And I'm Haley Richardson. Welcome to Newswatch.
It has been a beautiful day so far, and to see if it sticks around, we're going to toss it over to forecaster Josh Herner. Josh?
Yeah, guys, it has been a beautiful day thus far, but we have seen temperatures get a little bit high, the heat index into triple digits again. And that's because we're still under this heat advisory that we've seen the past few days. Athens and surrounding areas still in the orange over here and extends all the way over into Cincinnati. There's still no rain around to cool us off, as you're going to see here on your local radar, with the rain sticking in the southeastern part of the U.S. and it's not hit us yet, but it is coming eventually. Tonight we're going to see an overnight low of about 71 degrees, meaning that warmer weather is still going to stick around for a little bit, which is going to create for some areas of fog going into today and the next few days. But looking ahead, rain is going to eventually return to the area, meaning temperatures are going to cool off. And as those clouds roll in, again, it's going to help with those temperatures cooling off and cooling us down, which is eventually going to lead to a relief from the heat. So stay tuned for my full weather forecast to find out how much relief we're going to get.
Thanks, Josh. Tsunami waves hit the United States after an 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck off Russia's eastern coast.
The quake, tied for the 6th strongest ever recorded, triggered tsunami warnings in Hawaii and the U.S. West Coast. Michael Yoshida has the story.
Tsunami alerts across Hawaii sending residents and tourists racing to evacuate coastal areas.
Our number one priority is life safety, and so right now it's an easy thing. Get away from the beaches, get inland, and get upward.
Roads and highways packed as people scrambled for higher ground.
You can expect a tsunami wave to hit the state, and it will not just hit one beach. It will wrap around the islands very likely.
Well, we were up visiting Volcano National Park, and saw the tsunami warning go off on our phones.
The warnings triggered after an 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck near Russia's east coast. Waves from the quake, tied for the 6th strongest ever recorded, lashing Russia's coast. As tsunami warnings were issued from Japan to Chile, with huge waves predicted for parts of French Polynesia.
This earthquake basically moves the seafloor upward by roughly a meter, a few feet, something like that. And that leads to a bulge of water that starts traveling across the ocean.
In the U.S., the tsunami waves hit shores in Hawaii, California, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska overnight. Waves, some as high as 5 feet, were recorded on Maui's North Shore. As warnings were downgraded across the U.S., officials from Hawaii to California saying the worst was over, but urging everyone to remain vigilant.
We were fortunate this time. There was significant tsunami surges. We're still dealing with those now, but it did stay within the banks.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
The Meigs County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help in locating a missing man.
45-year-old Daniel Sayre of California was reported missing Monday night. Multiple search parties have been utilizing every available resource to locate Sayre. He is 6'3", weighs around 190 pounds, and has blue eyes and brown hair.
The Meigs County Sheriff's Office has reason to believe Sayre was in Minnersville yesterday, but a search party could not find him. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of Sayre, please call the number on your screen or 911 if you live in Meigs County. The Nelsonville City Council is holding a special meeting tomorrow after the resignation of 2 officials earlier this week. On Monday, Council Vice President Nancy Sonic submitted her resignation last month. She told WOUB she planned on resigning in November when all the other members of council terms ended as the city switches to a statutory form of government. As of today, no one has filed to run for the seats on the council for a 1-month term for the month of December. And that second official that resigned earlier this week is the city's treasurer, Michael Mullane. Mullane submitted his resignation yesterday. The city sent out a Facebook post requesting applications for the position. Meanwhile, no one has yet filed to run for treasurer in the November election for a 2-year term starting in January when the city switches to a statutory form of government.
A levy will be on the ballot for Trimble local schools this November. The state commission overseeing Trimble's finances voted to approve the levy at tonight's meeting. It's a 1% earned income tax over 5 years, generating about $665,000 annually. Trimble faces a budget deficit of $11 million by 2029, placing the district in fiscal emergency, which gave the commission oversight over their finances. The Trimble School Board meets again August 21st. The state commission will meet August 28th. Senate Democrats, including Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, are pushing for the Justice Department to release more files linked to late convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. They are basing their request on a decades-old law that lets at least 5 members of the Senate Homeland Security Committee ask for information when they lack subpoena power. Michigan Senator Gary Peters says the Epstein-related information needs to come out.
This letter demands that the Justice Department produce documents that Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Akash Patel have publicly already confirmed they have in their possession.
A source says the DOJ is not likely to comply, which means there could be a legal battle between Senate Democrats and the Trump administration. President Donald Trump is pushing an initiative for Americans to upload personal health data and medical records on systems and apps run by private tech companies. Proponents of the system say it will make it more convenient for doctors to access their patients' information, while opponents say this will invade citizens' privacy. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has pushed for more technology in healthcare.
The National Transportation Safety Board finds the Army Black Hawk helicopter that collided with the passenger plane in January was flying too high. The details come from the NTSB's first day of investigation hearings about the deadly crash that killed 67 people, the deadliest crash in the U.S. since November of 2001. The board is conducting this investigation to prevent another incident like this from happening.
Please know that we are working diligently to make sure we know what occurred, how it occurred, and to prevent it from ever happening again.
The hearing will go on for the next 2 days. NTSB has not yet determined what caused the crash. President Donald Trump's pause on his so-called reciprocal tariffs ends in just a couple of days. On Friday, hundreds of countries will learn their fate with the United States when it comes to trade. Julia Benbrook is at the White House with where things stand.
While countries work toward bespoke trade agreements with the United States, some have already received warning letters from the Trump administration that they could face higher rates unless they make a deal before the deadline. In a social media post, Trump said, quote, "The August 1st deadline is the August 1st deadline. It stands strong and will not be extended," calling it a big day for America. To date, at least 7 trading partners have reached a framework for a trade deal with the United States. That includes an agreement with the European Union that was announced over the weekend. Trade negotiations with China are ongoing. Back in May, China agreed to temporarily lower tariffs on American goods from 125% to 10%, while the United States agreed to lower tariffs on Chinese goods from 145% to 30%. Trump struck a hopeful tone earlier this week when it comes to those specific negotiations.
I just had a phone call from Scott Bessent and had a very good meeting with China, and seems that, they're going to brief me tomorrow. We'll either approve it or not. But he felt very good about the meeting. Better than he felt yesterday. Yesterday I said, "Ooh, here we go again. Here we go again." But today it worked out.
Delegations representing the 2 countries met for talks this week, concluding without a resolution. The current deadline for a deal with China is August 12th. Ahead of those talks, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent suggested that there could be an extension. If there's not an agreement, historic tariffs on each other's imports could once again go into effect. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
U.S. interest rates will continue to hold steady. The Federal Reserve kept the benchmark lending rate between 4.25 to 4.5%. That's the same range the rate has been since December. Officials at the central bank say that they want more time and data to determine how the U.S. economy is handling the Trump administration's tariffs.
We believe that the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments.
President Donald Trump has previously said he would like interest rates to be lowered. He also previously called for Powell to resign.
Governor Mike DeWine says he doesn't have anything good to share about the closure of a local paper mill. The Chillicothe paper mill, owned by Pixel Specialty Solutions, is set to close in less than 2 weeks. DeWine, along with Jobs Ohio and JP Nassif, has been aggressive in searching for a potential buyer for the plant. But so far, they've had no luck despite lucrative incentive packages. More than 700 people will lose their jobs if no buyer comes through before August 10th.
Coming up, nicotine pouches pose a risk to children. What experts say you can do to keep them safe.
And the U.S. GDP is on the rise, how the economy bounced back in the second quarter.
We are going to see some rain headed our area, but with that rain, some cooler temperatures will come. Find out more about your weather looking into your fair week next week.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
An American experience. It was a fight to the finish.
The plan was to turn every Japanese soldier and every civilian into kamikaze.
Hear the untold stories of the last months of the war and find out how close we came to an even more catastrophic conclusion.
We considered ourselves dead men.
Victory in the Pacific, an American experience.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
Can you feel the moment?
The American Revolution changed the world.
Where the story unfolds.
Everybody had the sense of possibility worth fighting for.
What took place here still leaves us in awe.
We can work towards equality together.
Wow, this is the missing piece. Incredible.
To confront these figures from ancient history is a great privilege.
Our history tells us who we are, where we came from.
And it's all connected.
Like links in a chain.
Like links in a chain, yeah.
All I can do is say thank you.
Wow, this is phenomenal. I'm really grateful for this.
Now, guys, I know the Athens County Fair is coming up. Do you guys have any plans to go?
I will unfortunately be out of town this weekend, and I'm so sad that I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, guys, I know you're not going to be able to catch the fair, Haley, but for those that are, we are going to get some warmer weather coming our way this weekend, and eventually, that weather is going to cool off going into next week. Now, you're going to get a look here in the next few seconds as, excuse my technical difficulties, we are going to get a look at what next week is going to look like. But before we get into that, first we have to take a look at what today is still going to look like for the rest of the day. You're going to see right now Athens County still 90 degrees. It's still rather hot, 92 in Parkersburg, meaning temperatures are still a little bit higher due to that really humid air that we're seeing come up from the south into Athens in the surrounding areas. We're going to be in this dark red area over here, meaning that the temperature in the humid air from the south is rising all the way to us, which is causing for this heat advisory that we've seen over the past few days. Again, we mentioned it in the first weather, but we've seen Athens and surrounding areas get hit. You're going to see Cincinnati all the way over here, still in the heat advisory as we've seen for the past few days, but that eventually is going to end at about 8 o'clock tonight, even though you're seeing this very clear local radar, meaning that temperatures are still a little bit higher than they normally would be. And you're going to see it's because of this regional radar. The weather over here in the Midwest, is we're seeing rain up towards that area, but eventually you're going to see this line head our way. As you see into tomorrow is when that rain is going to hit us. Eventually that line is going to head our way. 36 hours from now, it'll be right in the prime. We'll get that rain, which is going to cool us off, and 48 hours ahead, you're going to see that rain is eventually going to be out of our system. Still tonight, going to see those warmer temperatures, an overnight low of 71 degrees, and as we mentioned before, that fog is going to rise. So for your morning commutes, be a little bit careful driving to work in the morning, and if you're getting that morning run in, be ready to deal with some fog. And as for tomorrow, it's still a little bit higher temperatures in the 89 degrees, but eventually we're going to see those showers roll in later on in the day. But as you're going to see here, looking a little bit ahead into the 7 to 8 day outlook, is you're going to see a tick above average temperatures, meaning that we're still going to be a little bit hot going into next week. Now looking ahead at your 7 day, as we mentioned before, those chance of showers tomorrow, temperatures still high, about 89 degrees, but eventually that heat advisory is going to end, and Friday is really when we see those temperatures cool off with a high of about 80 degrees. That 30% chance of showers is going to extend into Friday, but the weekend is really when we see that gorgeous weather. 82 degrees on Saturday, 84 on Sunday. Perfect days to go to the fair like we just talked about. Now you're going to see rain roll in toward the latter half of next week. Monday, a 20% chance of showers, and that does extend into Tuesday when we have another 40% chance of showers, and Tuesday is when those temperatures tick up into the higher 80s, 86 on Tuesday, and eventually on Wednesday is when we see showers arrive back again and those temperatures tick back up, just like we showed you in the 7 day. So looking ahead, going to see some hotter weather into next week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Josh. A new study finds that microplastics are way more prevalent than you might think. According to a study published today in the PLOS One journal, adults likely inhale nearly 70,000 microplastic particles per day. Researchers say this invisible pollution comes from the degradation of plastic objects like furniture, textiles, and carpet. Researchers base their findings on indoor air samples taken from cars and apartments. They advise people to try to avoid using plastic when possible, especially single-use items. Nicotine pouches continue to flood the market, and a new study shows the dangers these products are posing to young children who find and unintentionally ingest them. Mandy Gaither looks at the data and speaks with the study's co-author about how to keep children safe.
In the U.S., sales of nicotine pouches have skyrocketed from 126 million pouches sold in August 2019 to 808 million sold in March 2022.
There's been an explosion of nicotine products in recent years. And we also know that there is a paucity of data looking at what happens to young children when they get into these products.
Dr. Hannah Hayes with Nationwide Children's Hospital is co-author of a study aimed at the dangers of these products in little hands. The researchers found that between 2020 and 2023, unintentional nicotine pouch ingestion calls to U.S. poison centers surged 763% for children younger than 6 years old.
And this is while ingestion rates for other nicotine products declined.
Hayes says unintentional nicotine ingestion by a child can lead to nausea, vomiting, fast heart rates, high blood pressure, and in extreme cases, seizures, respiratory failure, even death. To keep children safe, Hayes says to safely and securely store these products up and away from children and out of sight, preferably in a place that can be locked, and avoid using these products in front of children, especially if they're packaged to look like treats.
I also recommend that parents save the poison help number in their phone or post it in a visible place in their home and call right away if you expect a child or loved one has been exposed to a medication or drug product.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The U.S. economy rebounded sharply in the second quarter. The Commerce Department said Wednesday the nation's gross domestic product, a key economic indicator, registered an annualized rate of 3% in the April through June period. That's up from the negative 0.5 percentage point rate in the first quarter, which was the first quarterly GDP decline since 2022 during the second quarter. Businesses dialed back on buying imports after stocking up earlier in the year to get ahead of President Donald Trump's tariffs. Americans can expect to spend more time on bathroom and laundry items. Manufacturing giant Procter & Gamble said the company took a $1 billion pre-tax hit because of the Trump administration's tariffs. Officials say there will be a slight price hike for a roughly quarter of P&G's items. The company said it will offset some of the financial strain with sourcing changes and productivity, but consumers will have to pick up some of the cost.
Next, after the best season in their school's history, the Miller Falcons are looking to keep hitting milestones.
PBS viewers believe that businesses that sponsor PBS on WOUB Public Television have a commitment to quality and excellence. Sponsoring a PBS television program offers your business a unique opportunity to connect with a highly engaged, loyal, and trustful audience in a clutter-free environment, leading to increased brand awareness, positive perception, and potential for higher customer engagement. Your sponsorship is important to the community, and the rewards come back to you in the form of loyal customers. Align your organization with America's most trusted news and public affairs network. WOUB Public Television is worthy of your trust. Contact Corporate Support Director Kathy Malesic at 740-593-4909 or online at woub.org/support.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
After decades of waiting, the Miller Falcons earned their first playoff win last year.
Now they are back for more. Newswatch reporter Charlie Ehlenfeld joins us to talk about the 2025 Miller Falcons.
Thanks. The Falcons have a lot of familiar faces returning. Despite losses on the O-line and at quarterback, the Falcons still have plenty of talent. I caught up with Miller at a 7-on-7 in Crooksville. 7-on-7s are a staple of summer football, but it means no contact. But for the Miller Falcons defense, they just can't wait to get back to cracking pads.
It's definitely a little bit of a shame, but they'll get theirs when it's their turn.
The MPT, or most physical team, earned their first 2 playoff wins in program history last year. Now the standard has been set, and the expectations are even higher.
Definitely the MPT, that's kind of, now is kind of more tradition. You know, we talked about the 99-2000 team, they're the ones that came up with it. Kind of went away from that for a couple years, and now that's every year.
Returning from last year's 10-win team, Xander Bice, who had over 1,500 yards, 8.4 yards per carry, and 21 touchdowns, and he was the team's leading tackler. Nick Thompson, the team's leading receiver in second in interceptions. Maddox Bolliard, who led the team in sacks, tackles for loss, and tied for most fumble recoveries. But they will lose 2,000 yards of offense, 27 touchdowns, and 7 defensive interceptions with the graduation of Logan Dowdy. His absence in the secondary will be tough for the Falcons to fill.
Secondary is a spot that we really could use some work on. I mean, we're definitely not perfect. Nobody is.
Miller will have 3 players taking regular snaps under center. First, Noah LeMaster, who will be taking snaps out of the Wildcat, much in the same way he did last year. And there will be 2 guys vying for regular starting reps, Bo Dorsey and Anthony Atkins.
I guess it's a good problem to have when you have 2 guys that can really step into that role and do that position to play quarterbacks.
LeMaster is also taking over Dowdy's role at safety. Despite the losses from last year, Miller is opening up the season with their largest roster since 2017. Nick Thompson said last year's success made this possible.
It's really awesome. It's heartwarming, and that's something that, you know, we keep producing good numbers and making seasons that this will carry on and just be a domino effect through our program.
Miller will start their season on August 22nd at Alexander. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld, live in studio.
Still ahead, a little boy pulls together a special art show for a good cause.
We'll be right back, but here's a look at what's coming up next on WOUB.
Welcome to the age of humans.
Extinctions didn't stop happening at the end of the Pleistocene.
That word extinction, it's the worst of all environmental sins.
Could you imagine that you are watching the last of mankind?
I think I just fell in love.
We are creating new tools that can be applied to stop extinctions from happening today.
The first thing that you need to change is the people.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
1066. England was just taken by William the Conqueror. But was William a conqueror or a war criminal? How do you go about conquering an entire country?
It must have been a really terrifying time. Burning houses, taking crops, livestock. You couldn't be sure that you would be safe.
I really feel that William has got blood on his hands for this.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
This is the moment that you've been waiting for.
On your marks, get set, go!
Discover extraordinary lost worlds.
I know scientists that would give their right arm for this.
This is heaven. Hope y'all ready.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
You'll apologise.
No, I won't.
Of course you will.
They're here.
I feel like we're meeting the Queen.
Oh, sweet mercy. It's Wilbur Church.
You're putting everyone around you in danger.
Don't go. I have a terrible feeling about all of this. Hello?
All will die today. Grantchester, the season finale on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
The 2025 Athena Award nominations are open. The award honors community members who have made significant contributions to improving the lives of people with disabilities. It's presented by the Athens City Commission on Disabilities. Nominations are open through September 2nd. You can find more information through the link on your screen.
A little boy becomes Nebraska's latest art curator. Over the weekend, 8-year-old Blaine Troutman organized a special art exhibit with art from several states. The event took place at a senior living community in Decatur and raised money to support the facility. His mom helped pull everything together. She says Blaine is a natural helper.
He's always wanting to help others, and I started this job in February, and he's kind of made a little friendship with a lot of the tenants up here, and so it's pretty close to his heart too.
Artists paid $3.50 to enter their art and made donations at the event. All proceeds went to the senior home. Now guys, I don't know about you, I loved making arts and crafts when I was growing up. What about you guys?
Absolutely. I made so many for my parents and friends, especially ornaments around the holidays.
My pick was clay. What about you?
Yeah, you know, Steve, I was just going to say that same exact thing. And in the story, it mentioned that he did art for different states. I wondered if he got a chance to do an Ohio one and what that would look like.
It would be amazing. Maybe you could make like a Buckeye or make it in the shape of the state. So it'd be something crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Something like that, Steve, would be so cool. And if you are outside and going to do some crafts this weekend, I think you're going to have some great weather. Now, tonight, we're still going to see an overnight low of about 71 degrees. We're still going to see some warmer temperatures rolling into tomorrow. But after tomorrow is Friday is when those temperatures eventually cool off. We're going to get a little bit of rain in our area. But after Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is when it gets gorgeous out. 82 and 84. That's when you want to get outside and do some crafts with some showers looking ahead next week and temperatures ticking up a little bit warmer.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Josh Herner, Charlie Ehlenfeld, I'm Steve Nedlick.
And I'm Haley Richardson. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.